Pow Wow, yo, yippee, yay, guys. Part number 43, and I'm super excited to be with you guys today. In this special episode, we're going to talk about the love of the community, then talk about what is happening on SwissBorg network, talk about the markets, have some product updates, talk about the new alpha Bluwhale, talk about the Borg Referendum, which is a very important one. As you guys know, my name is Cyrus Fazel. I'm the proud founder and CEO of SwissBorg, always here to serve you. Question of the week, let's start with it right away. People are trying to regards, are there going to be more integrations regarding fiat payways? And Twint has been a big one. For now, I think so Twint has a policy that's not accepting crypto payments, platforms or whatsoever. So I don't think so anything's going to be done with Twint, but always looking with other different providers. And one could be to bring different new currencies. As the audience, so Benji, as you guys moved from marketing now into product, and is trying to rethink how Borgers could really bring that reward in the best way possible, and trying to bring new ways for you guys to enjoy the app, great gain experience, and get rewarded meritocratically. So I hope you guys have enjoyed his Twitter. I'm not going to talk too much of it because I need to keep some surprises, of course, but there's some cool stuff happening in the scenes. Talking about cool stuff and talking about great swag, there is Ferdy has launched this really cool weight about vintage accessory. I love SwissBorg is these beautiful laptop cases that we made back in 2017. The idea is that you'll be able actually to win some cool swag. But for this, you have to go on Twitter. Then you have to use the hashtag SwissBorg swag, tag SwissBorg, and just put your photo. And whatever has likes, make it happen, and we'll be able to bring you some cool SwissBorg swag. SwissBorg and the news. What is happening right now? So as you guys know, we've been promoting ourselves quite a lot in Portugal, and for that we got the recognition of the Portugal FinTech Report. We're part of it, which is really good, and it's done by KPMG and Visa. So it's a really good, really good things. We're going to have an event that's going to happen on the 5th of November, 9:30. If you're in Lisboa, just go for it. Now, what's happening on the news of the week? Well, essentially, there's a lot of money being poured into these BTC ETFs. It's just crazy. It's the most successful launch of ETFs of the history of business of BlackRock. As the third biggest amount of inflows that they've received in any ETF this year, which is crazy when you think about it. Bitcoin hash rate is hitting all time. There's a lot of things happening on that network. And last but not least, we're talking about presidential elections. So let's talk about what is happening in the markets. Well, October is definitely helping us to push the markets. We are, though, trying to play and flirt with that 70, and we've done this for now a certain amount of time. Right? It happened obviously in 2020, 2021. Then it happened again in the end of 2021. We are now flirting this since the launch of the ETF. We went through that 70 line. We tried to pass it again in April, but we didn't. We failed. We done that as well in August, but again after the rallies happening, but didn't happen. And right now there's another rejection. What I said on Twitter, I think the rejection will happen until essentially great news. And great news is the presidential elections. Just regarding that, I do post things right now on the presidential elections, but I don't take any terms. I'm not in favor for any of the two. I'm just in favor for crypto and decentralization. So that's something that I should put very clear about. ETA flows are just crazy. We just talked about that. BlackRock has invested themselves $330 million into their own ETF for Bitcoin, taking a huge exposure there. So that means what it means. Right now, the race is still happening on poly markets, which is very crypto oriented. Trump is definitely the winning one, but things could change. And this is in the next 3 weeks going to be a lot of volatility, I think, in the markets, to the fact that, well, it's clear that if Trump passes, there looks like they're very pro-crypto. If Kamala passes, there won't be anti-crypto such as the Biden administration, but most probably not as open to crypto for whatever reason. There's few people in that cabinet that don't still understand the value of crypto. What are the hottest sectors right now this week? 30% is leading with AI. AI is doing quite well. There's memes as well. There's that combination of those two that are doing quite well. And the rest is pretty much red. Last but not least, let's talk about Solana just dominating the L1 space. A lot has due to gambling with meme coins, but it really is showing the robustness of this chain and is doing fantastic well. The Solana Ether chart is quite crazy when you think about it, how it really has been growing, where Ethereum, it's a bit, trying to figure out where it's positioning itself, but it's not doing as great as a Solana for sure. Tokens, some are green, some are red, and it's a mixed bag, which is very nice to see, by the way. It really shows that things are moving in different directions. One of the most exciting one is Ape. Ape has shown to the community that they've done many, very good stuff. Right now, they're about to create their own app chain, which is an L2 on Ethereum, and the token will be enabled to have yield incentives around it. I'm not very an Ape person. I always thought that they created just a lot of great noise and traction, but don't believe that there's behind something yet. Maybe I'm mistaking myself. I never owned any of these Bored Apes, and I still haven't got into it, but it's a great community, and they're definitely making a lot of noise, and they are building cool stuff. Now, this is a very exciting moment. Product update for you guys. Listen this out. One of the biggest problem about SwissBorg is when you change your phone. And when you change your phone, right, you have to take your private key, or you forget about it. If you change your any type of phone use, you have to do KYC all again. Well, we have figured out a way, which is taking all this pain away. And starting today, you could essentially have passkeys for account recovery. So rather, if you have a mobile Android or essentially an Apple iPhone, it's now within just few clicks, you could go into security within the SwissBorg app, and you could able to identify yourself, do the passkeys account recovery, and the next time you log into your new iPhone or your new Android phone, you will just need to recognize your face right away, and through that you could be able to access your app. So if you really like the speed of it and not be able to KYC and just be able to reinstall your entire app within a fraction of seconds, this is the best thing possible. Passkeys, just for you to understand, is the most secure and efficient way to recover your SwissBorg account. It is really the most thin. We really encourage you to register your passkey, and you could easily recover it from your account. That's something to do. And yeah, finally, I think so this will be a great way. I know some of you have messaged me multiple times when you change phones, quite a pain to not have this process. Now it's done, so test it out. Talking about that, we have a new help center as well. There's a huge makeover that has been done. Go right now on Help Center. You can find all the 10 articles, top 10 articles the most asked. There's some videos on it. There's a really way to expand, to look into it. Hopefully we'll get more and more ways to bring a help center that is great to serve your own problems. So yeah, please take a look. If there's any recommendation, well, please make it happen. Tell us, what could we change? Now let's talk about Alpha. Bluwhale, the vaults open today. This is a very exciting one. For those who don't remember, what is Bluwhale? This is a fantastic video where we see Alex and the founder of Bluwhale as well.
Episode of Alpha series where we ask investor-related questions to a project that we're personally supporting.
So the team is great. We talked about this already in the past. What is the difference? They're playing this AI thing with obviously being able to maximize data on chain, which is a big topic, right? We know Web3, that's one of the biggest one. What is really nice is that they have all this visualization and things that could really enable people to actually understand what data they have and which projects as well could start seeing, okay, what type of data that users that they want to maybe farm or want to collect or whatsoever. People could be able to sell those data. People could get rewarded for that. I think it's really nice. The node cells is really cool too. There's different node sales based on your camps. So from camp 100 is the bronze to the camp over 200,000 camp. It is the diamond vaults. The essentially the node price changed based on which vault you're in, which is very interesting as well. There's more nodes to be sold at the diamond. So it's happening right now today. Check them out. Borg Referendum. This has been one of the most important things that we did at SwissBorg right into 2018, where people were able to vote for the future of our network. And it's your job to really responsibly take this action to make sure that you're voting for the things that you believe in and you're convinced that this will bring a brighter future to SwissBorg, to yourself, and enable us to become more financially free. What I hear by that is, in this world of Web3, we try to do a lot of different things, and we try to learn from the best. We try to take some risks, and sometimes we could change our positions. Initially in 2017, when we listed our token, we could have got listed on Binance, but they were asking a lot of $1 or $2 million to get listed in 2018. We got listed on the cheaper exchanges, which were easy to get listed for free or pretty much for free. And then we went to Bitfinex, which we thought it was going to bring us something out. Then we went to Huobi, but that never led us to essentially get into any of the top tiers, right? Coinbase, Kraken, Binance, and now you have maybe Bybit. These are the 4 big exchanges, right? And by doing so, we tried hard. And most of the time it failed for reason not disclosed, but most of them we always know what it was. Competition. People are afraid CEX have a cartel that they want to defend. They all launch their own blockchains. They all launch their own dApps. They all want to make sure that they are centralizing the power around blockchain technology and the applications. And that's what pretty much it all is. Every CEX has a very big agenda to make sure that they're going to grow and be as most popular as possible. And so bringing in SwissBorg, which is always bringing a mix and pretty try to aggregate different exchanges and trying to look at different blockchains and all that, was probably the best in terms of ethical, but in terms of business, that's not what people have thought. And we thought that by working with different exchanges, it would be easy for us to get listed, but at the end it hasn't. It was a big failure. Let's put it that way. The most beautiful thing is that when Louis and Xborg wanted to do this and say, oh, I want to get listed on Bybit and whatsoever, I told them right away, don't do that mistake. I told the same thing to Cross of the Ages. I said the same thing to Camino, and I'll repeat it and I'll repeat it. There's no value today in this new market to get listed on CEXs. There's a very small amount. Besides, if you want to go for this market, like let's say you want Asian markets, so you want to get listed on OKX to tap into that, or you want to go to the Korean market and launch your popular app, so that therefore you're going to go on Upbit, for example. If you want to go to the US and you really want to grow your market, maybe Kraken or Coinbase could be a smart one. But most of the time it's not, because listing on a CEX, you pay a lot of money. Second, you bring market makers, and these market makers will never go into your intention. And I think so Louis very smartly recognized that, and I said, look, you are going to spend a lot of money. The money you're going to spend is not going to work. Look, and he looked into this. We had many discussions and looked to this. And then once, he said, I think so we're going to go only for DEXs and get listed on SwissBorg as a start, because there's no value then, changing all our values and shifting all the values to give finally to CEXs. And we know what happened with Xborg. It did extremely well. It's profiting a lot about SwissBorg, the Borg token as well, because it's being traded on these DEXs, and this Borg versus essentially Xborg is bringing a lot of value. And here you saw on the other day that, the Borg was actually the biggest, the biggest volume there besides Huobi. So now if you look at the CEXs we work with today, right, for Borg, essentially you have HitBTC, you have Bitfinex, and you have Huobi, HCX. Huobi is a Chinese exchange that has today some volume. Most probably this volume is only known for bots and market makers. Bitfinex and HitBTC is pretty much only us. and there's maybe some few small traders there. But essentially, it's all going through the SwissBorg app, was what I wanted to say. Now, the big question is that it's not only the question, should we focus on DEX? Should we stop market making on CEXs? And I think that this is something that's very important, because anyone could list SwissBorg eventually, but if you're going into the CEX cartel, they're going to dictate a pace that they want you to have very tight spreads in order for them to bring a better volume. So what is the arguments for stop market making on CEXs and focusing really on DEXs? Because that's the real question. So first thing, it is embracing decentralization, aligning with the SwissBorg vision, better than CEX. We've been talking that on and on. We've been putting it everywhere, but this is a time where we could actually short token. Borg has done it very well. Other tokens had done it, did not do very well. Traditional CEXs have this opaque gatekeepers. We know that. They have market makers that takes out value. I think so this could be a huge bold move that I'm so proud of what Borg and you guys have mentioned is bring down the CEX cartel. And it's been more than a year that I did this presentation myself on Solana that there's no value to that. The MEX is the best thing. You get to create user experience and security, and you trade essentially on DEXs. Taking out market manipulation by CEXs. What I was saying with just before is that there is way too much market makers that are making way too much money on your shoulders. This is very important. Transparency and security. What is the beauty of essentially working with DEX is we see essentially all the trades. It really shows you the quality of real volume. It's not just like random just the CEX says, oh, this is the volume that is done, and then you have CoinMarketCap that's 100% owned by Binance that said, oh, this is real volume, this is fake volume. Here it's on chain. This is exactly what we're building. The CEX is the opposite of what we should be building. We start from there, but we move now that we have this market that is bigger. What is very interesting as well is that CEXs have still their issues, right? Many CEXs we know have failed, and if we had went to FTX, we have lost a lot of our capital, right? That's something that's very important. Increased volatility. I think this is something that you guys should understand very much. Bitfinex today really wants us to have spreads that are very, 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 very small. And that enables them to have other market makers that come and market make your token. So you market make it, and then other market makers play around. This brings them more volume and more generating fees. But what does it do from you? Is whenever the price tries to move, it contracts the price. So it means the elasticity of the price is very narrowed. Like that is very good for market makers to eat on it. But what you want is the opposite, is really to let the free market decide the price. So if you buy maybe $50,000 of Borg, it will pump maybe 8, 10, 20%. But that's because there's no bid behind it, right? So the bid and the ask is much more cleaner when it comes from a natural organic people that want to buy and sell, just then bots that are talking to each other. And I think so by removing right now these market makers on these CEXs, it enable us to have price ranges that will change. If you notice, since we listed on Bitfinex, right? The price of the token has been boring. A lot of people are talking about we're a losing stable coin, right? And that's pretty much true. But before that, you had those swings. And that's what I think will bring volatility, will bring then more volume with a greater, with the real people behind it. The on-chain focus, there's no doubt about that. We talked about Borg on-chain already some time ago. And we said we have to more and more know. Now we have to walk the talk, right? And I think that we will bring more and more people to do the same thing. And BorgPad will get to have more and more traction, and we'll bring more and more products and projects to say, you know what, you're right. Why should I pay $1 million and give all this option to a market maker just for them to make money and see my token dump? 6 goes what I just said. It's just better than CEX, guys. We should own it. It's very, very important. But as we're in democracy, we made up as well a list of all the reasons why delisting might be dangerous. Let's take the first one out. If it's only traded through DEXs on Solana for now, and obviously DEXs through Ethereum, but not in the app, that means when there'll be an outage of Solana, and will probably happen, we won't be able to trade essentially Borg token. Has that happened to Solana? It has. Did that really have an impact on Solana's price token? Not that much. So there is a risk there, but yeah, it is what it is. Number 2, CEX users. By bringing on CEXs, there's more traders, and the same thing that goes to broader market reach. And we talked about that just before, right, in the intro. I do agree. Like, if we're on Binance, that might create something better. If we go to Coinbase, maybe there'll be more Americans on it. But I think the use cases are very strong for SwissBorg in-app. There's going to be more and more on-chain with BorgPad. So this is on-chain people. But we're not talking to the top tier exchanges. We're on these top 2 tier exchanges that don't bring any value today. And we've seen with the Solana cases that everything is on chain. We thought with XBorg, things is the same. Everything is going more and more on chain. With all the amazing amount of people that are just trading essentially through DEXs is just growing. And this will grow and grow and grow and grow because you get to front run the CEXs. So maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it would be crazy just to be on chain on SwissBorg, but now it makes more and more sense. This is what I explained before. By having spreads that will be larger, the price of the token will be more volatile. That means that when you will get into your trade, if you go for a bigger size trade, you might get slippage. And that's true. And for this, for now, there is no real way to hope that this will differentiate. Obviously, with on-chain trading, there's more slippage. It is what it is. But this will change eventually. And I think that if you're able to acquire a little bit less of Borg token because you put a big, like $150,000 trade, whatever, well, it is what it is. But at least the price of the course of the token will go higher and will go lower when you dump it. That's for sure. But yeah, you have to take some risk there. Delisting Borg may create some FUD, and this is with you. This is the most important is, we don't believe that today there is more appetite for the Borg token than what is on our current CEXs. And that's why we want to favor DEXs. I want to sum this up. I think this is very important for all of you guys. I want to have more and more referendums that are, that are in the app, that'll be eventually on chain as well. I think there is very important for us to bring this democracy to the next level, to bring financial freedom to all of our users. I strongly believe that delisting this from these 2 CEXs that we have today is the best way for us in order to create a huge narrative, enable us to really fight for what we believe is the most important, that we're better than CEX, to bring all the value to token holders and not market makers, to have the possibility to have a Borg token that has more volatility, that will create more essentially volume, and it will be on chain, so it's much cleaner than any others. I strongly believe that that's the future anyways of crypto, right? CEX will die. That you want it, you don't want it. It just will die. It doesn't make sense. Like, CEX is the only way to hide your order book and to do shady things eventually. What you want is to make everything on chain. If not, we're not really decentralizing anything. We're just creating a better user experience through that. So I think so more and more we really need to get to that. And I think so this is a great way to embrace the MEX and to embrace Borgers. So we're going to have tomorrow we're going to have an AMA with Anthony, myself, Alex, and other people. The vote will close on the 27th, and the results will happen on the next Pow Wow next week. So go for it, vote, and let's make it happen. So if you didn't get it, you have to. The question is, should you agree that we should remove market making through our CEXs and eventually delist the SwissBorg token from the CEXs to concentrate only on DEXs? The question is quite easy, and the answer is even easier. Yes or no? I vote yes. If you want to be part of our awesome team, we have Senior Compliance Officer in France, we have Relation Manager in UK and Netherlands, and we have Scala Engineers. So if you're interested in any of these jobs, please let us know. Automate your financial future and win with up to 100 euros to 10 people that will make it. For this to be eligible, what you have to do is to start a daily or weekly auto invest and run it for a minimum of 30 days or maintain an existing one to have a chance to win 75 euros. With an additional 25 euros, make a next thread before Friday. Make that you will do an auto invests and hashtag SwissBorg auto invest, and of course tag us ourselves. We'll pick 10 random people like always. Hopefully you win. Community member of the month. I wanted to shout out to Luca. Luca has been amazing on Discord. You just have been being able to help us in the best way to moderate Discord and to bring cool stuff to it. So congrats for that. Keeping the defense of the bots as well updated and alerts in ever-ending fights against scammers. That happens a lot. By the way, I will rarely contact anyone on Instagram, okay? It's not me if you're getting contacted, especially if I'm asking for money. Borg and some data, a little bit better. It's been a long few weeks that we're in the 130 to 150. We now are 200 people that upgraded, which is really cool. Borg and some weekly SwissBorg app data, it was pretty much a little bit better as well, a bit more volume than last week. Not crazy yet though. Last week you had a score of 4.8. Caster score right now, it is 6.0, sorry. Everything is pretty much up besides the app activity, which is great to see. Beautiful Borgers, this was another great powwow. As you guys know, there's a new alpha opportunity with Bluwhale happening today. There is as well a new way to finally recover your account in the most secure way possible, which is a great new feature for you guys. There is as well this referendum that is very important, that will enable you to express your opinion and see where we're heading. As always, be healthy, be wealthy, love our Borg equity. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thank you for watching our weekly Pow Wow episode. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to leave a like. And if you didn't, tune in next week anyway, so that you can figure out if it's better then. Bye.